A cap and gown, a framed diploma, 4 years, thousands of dollars, and a handshake on graduation day. But 3 months later, the job board's a ghost town. Every listing says 3+ years experience required. Your inbox full of rejections, or worse, silence. In 2025, 41% of grads in their 20s are working jobs that don't need a degree. Baristas with business majors, data scientists driving Ubers. This isn't personal failure, it's a structural mismatch. College used to be the clearest path to stability. But that promise? It's starting to slip away. We're producing a surplus of educated labor for a market that no longer knows what to do with it. So how did we get here? Why are graduates locked out of the very careers they trained for? Does one getting more degrees fix the problem or make it worse? And most importantly, how is this underemployment crisis reshaping our economy? And what does education even mean today? Welcome to the era of Degreeflation. For decades, we were told the formula: go to school, get a degree, land a career, succeed. It wasn't just advice, it was a cultural script. In the post-World War II era, a college degree did indeed lead to upward mobility. In the US, college grads earned significantly more than non-grads, and that gap widened for years. But then something changed. Between 2000 and 2025, the number of degree holders increased significantly. Globally, the number of tertiary graduates more than doubled, according to UNESCO data. Bachelor's degrees became the new high school diploma, and as supply went up, the value began to erode. Economists call this credential inflation. Over time, employers steadily raised the bar. Roles that once needed only a high school diploma began to require a bachelor's, then a master's, then 3 years of experience too. For many first-time job seekers, this expectation felt not just unrealistic, but borderline absurd. The degree became a filter, not a guarantee. At the same time, the cost of that degree exploded. US tuition tripled in real terms since the 1980s. Student debt soared past $1.7 trillion. Yet the return on investment varies drastically by field. Computer science and engineering degrees still offer strong income potential, while degrees in the humanities, arts, or social sciences often yield far lower salaries, making it harder to recoup the cost of education, especially with rising living expenses. Meanwhile, employers are rethinking their hiring criteria. Many major companies, including Google, Apple, and IBM, have begun dropping degree requirements for certain roles, prioritizing skills-based hiring instead. This shift reflects a growing recognition that traditional education isn't the only path to professional competence. So we have more people taking on more debt for credentials that are increasingly treated as just the baseline. But how did the job market shrink beneath us? Where did all the entry-level jobs go? Between 2020 and 2025, something else accelerated the crisis: automation, remote work, and post-COVID cost-cutting. Many companies slashed junior roles to save costs, or replaced them with software, interns, or outsourced labor. The rise of AI tools made it easier to cut support staff, admin assistants, and junior creatives. The roles that used to be stepping stones simply vanished. Then came the paradox. Jobs labeled entry-level now require 2-3 years of experience. Internships became unpaid or disappeared. According to data from Handshake, internship postings declined by over 15% between 2023 and 2025. It's a ladder with no bottom rung. Meanwhile, global competition for jobs intensified. Remote-first workforces meant that a graduate in the US, UK, or Canada wasn't just competing with local peers, but with equally skilled applicants across the world, often willing to work for less. Add to that older generations who are delaying retirement due to economic uncertainty, high living costs, and post-pandemic instability. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that labor force participation for workers aged 65 and older has nearly doubled since 1990. You have a clogged labor funnel, with fewer openings and more people trying to squeeze through. And while the market tightened, the graduate pipeline kept flowing. Many industries are also consolidating. Big tech, finance, media, and consulting have all seen mass layoffs in recent years, especially among junior roles. So what happens when a generation does everything right and still gets shut out? Is more education the solution, or just a deeper hole? Faced with rejection, many grads return to school. A master's degree feels like a logical next step. More credentials, more chances, right? According to the Wall Street Journal, 23% of Harvard MBA graduates were still job hunting 3 months after graduation in 2024. That's the Ivy League, and the numbers are worse further down the prestige ladder. We're witnessing a credential arms race. A report from the National Center for Education Statistics shows that the number of master's degrees awarded in the U.S. has increased by over 60% since 2000. Yet wage growth for those degrees has not kept pace, especially in fields outside of tech and healthcare. And in the middle of it, thousands of Gen Z grads are taking on more debt just to delay underemployment. This isn't just an economic loop, it's an emotional one. Students are taught to believe that if you're not succeeding, you simply need to study harder, get more credentials, and be more competitive. But when structural forces are the real barrier, this mindset leads to burnout, self-blame, and mental health crises. So what happens to mental health, ambition, and identity in that kind of loop? What is this doing to young people? When you spend your life believing a degree is the key to success and it doesn't open any doors, you don't just feel disappointed, you feel lied to.
Many young people describe a sense of post-graduation collapse. Surveys by the American Psychological Association show rising rates of anxiety and depression among young adults, particularly recent graduates. After all, if your degree doesn't lead anywhere, what was the point? This isn't just about money. It's about meaning. Some give up and accept jobs that underpay and underuse them. Others retreat into gig work or go back to school again. A few try to launch something on their own. Freelance, startups, side hustles, but most feel stuck. According to a 2023 Strata Education Network report, only about 26% of graduates believe their education is directly relevant to their work. This disconnect is fueling disillusionment, particularly among those with liberal arts or general studies backgrounds, trapped in a system that overpromised and underdelivered. And the generational trust gap is widening. Many parents and older mentors struggle to understand why their children, who did everything right, aren't finding footing. After all, it worked for them. Is it time to ask a bigger question? What is the purpose of college in 2025? If the degree no longer guarantees a job, is it still worth it? Historically, college was about more than employment. It was about ideas, exposure, and growth. But for the last few decades, we've sold it as a career launch machine. When that machine breaks, the whole value proposition collapses. It's not that education has no value. It's that the link between credentials and careers is broken. And until we rebuild that bridge, millions of young people will keep paying for something that no longer delivers what they need most. So, what happens next? Can new credential models like digital badges or competency-based education close the gap between what schools teach and what employers need? Can we fix this? Maybe, but not by pretending the old path still works. It starts with honesty. College is not a golden ticket. It's a tool, a signal, and it has to be paired with experience, adaptability, and skills the market actually values. It means investing in alternatives, apprenticeships, trade schools, boot camps, and on-the-job training. It means employers must stop expecting 5 years of experience for an entry-level role. And schools must stop selling degrees as destiny. It also means redefining success, because a stable, meaningful, well-paid life shouldn't only be accessible through a $100,000 credential. So, are degrees getting worthless? Not exactly, but they are getting weaker, less definitive, less automatic. Welcome to the great era of degreeflation. And it's just the beginning.